We're back with part number 2 of our do's and don'ts on how to start a business. We're going to go over our top 10 don'ts. And the top 10 that we came up with, number 1 will be, don't underestimate the time and effort needed to grow your business.
So, this particular one is near and dear to my heart. I think a lot of times people think, hey, I'm going to start a business. The next day, I'm going to be super wealthy, super successful.
That's how it worked out for all of us.
Right. And that's how it comes together. But it takes a lot to grow a business. A business is like a child. It starts off, it can't do anything for itself. And you have to work nonstop to nurture it to grow. Then eventually the business will grow and stand on its own. I feel my business is at a pre-teen stage, right? It's starting to figure out how to do some stuff, but it's not, it's not where I can leave it home alone just yet. So I think that, I live this. I work on my business 7 days a week. It's what I live, breathe, and think about. So, a lot of times people will say to me, I want to start a business because I want to be my own boss. Or, that's all in theory great. But at any given time, I have 10 to 15 bosses because my clients are calling constantly and needing my attention. So, realize when you pursue this path in life, that it's not one like having a job where you go 9 to 5 and it's over at the end of the day. It's no set clock. You work it non-stop. So I think that's one of the big don'ts that people don't realize what it takes to grow a business.
Absolutely. And then just a second, and I think it's also evolving all the time, right? So when you think you got it set, you think this is the method to get it done, the formula, it changes over, right? So I totally agree with that. Even starting, I'm the newest company in here, but it's still it's ever changing. It's everything from keeping your client satisfied, to doing your social media, to blogging, to doing the next thing. You're like, oh my God. And then I work more than I do now than I was doing 9 to 5, right? And then you got to deal with all the other things, insurance, policies, everything, right? So you got a lot to cover, and most of the time it's just you, right? So you got a lot going on.
We wear many hats. We wear many hats, and I think that's some of the most underestimated areas of being an entrepreneur. When you're an entrepreneur, you are the business, like Calvin said. But you really become truly a problem solver. You're a problem solver. I mean, because there's gonna be problems. You gotta find a way to market. You gotta find a way to get people in the door. You gotta find a way to get people to draw traffic to your website. You gotta find ways to generate your business. That's why being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. It's not, and it's okay. Because we need workers.
Absolutely.
You really have to be mentally strong in this game.
Absolutely.
And truth be told, there's a lot of failure in this game. And so you have to understand and study the blueprints of individuals and companies that have been successful, and you'll find your way through. But you just be consistent, be relentless, keep fighting, keep battling, and it'll happen. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Exactly.
I think I fail at least once a day. You know what I mean?
That's okay.
It could be a small failure or a huge failure, but you fail at least once a day. You just pick yourself up, keep on going, and look for that next thing that's out there. You know what I mean? So it's definitely one of those things that I think about a lot too. And what I've done even so far is I try to track all my time. Right, so I really understand where's my time being spent, and how long does it take me from the start of the business to the time I get paid. Right, so it's one of those things you really do need to track your time, and this is where I'll give a little kudos to corporate America. Having a little stint in corporate America kind of helps you through that as well, time management, that type of thing. You start to get a rhythm of how things should be. But definitely take the time, track how long it's taking you to do things. Mark down the things that are ultimately in your way and obstacles, so you really do need to come up with a path or a reoccurring process, at least in my opinion. Right? All right, second item on the list, don't do business without an agreement. I think it's almost probably number one. It goes hand in hand with estimating the time.
I mean, we can't do business like this.
No, not anymore, right? Now, if you're in the hood, you can do business like that, with a little path. But, when you do a business, you got to have an agreement, right? Because, the old saying, agreements for when there's a dispute, not when everything is happy. When everything's happy, it's all good. A handshake, a pound, 5-5 will work. But when there's a dispute, contract comes into play.
Right. And I think one of the most important things with an agreement or a proposal is not what the scope of work you're doing. It's the exclusions, what's not
getting done.
Because it's very important once you list it out for people to see that.
Sure.
Because many times when you're doing a project, someone will say, "Oh, I thought that was included." Well, no. You go to page 6.
That's not included. Absolutely.
So,
I totally agree. Especially for design companies like ourselves, in the age and the day of HGTV, right? Everybody thinks you're gonna hand them the keys, walk back 3 days, the house will be done, fully staged. That's TV. That does not happen that way.
Right.
Where do you think that furniture's coming from? Who's paying for that? Like, it's really one of those things where you have to have a contract and you have to lay out expectations.
Right.
Not only, like to Calvin's point, not only for the scope, but what's being excluded, right? Every job we do, we don't stage every job unless you're paying for the staging, right? So in the world of TV, a little bit different than what's in reality.
True. That's a great point.
Right?
That's a great point. Absolutely.
Third one, understand the finances around your business. And I know I feel like we're always talking about finances, but if you haven't got the point to this is extremely important, right? Without the finances, you can go home, or you don't have a home. I don't know how you look at it, but without the finances, it doesn't work.
Right. Well, I mean, my mentor said to me 3 years ago, learn finance.
Yeah.
I have an MBA. I thought I understood it, but I didn't truly appreciate it. When he challenged me to do that, I really dove into my QuickBooks.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite reports in QuickBooks is the profit and loss by class. I can do it by client, project, and I can see how much I've made and lost on each project.
Sure.
And it helps me give me a baseline for future projects when I estimate those jobs to see where the losses were. But you got to understand cash flow. You got to understand every key aspect of your business because all of these things add up. And if you don't understand finance and you're just winging it, or as I like to say, freestyling it out here, you're never going to be successful. So finance is key. Now, I will be the first one to admit I understand that finances are my strength. So I've now gotten comfortable with, I've gotten a bookkeeper on staff, I rely on accountants more. I understand it, but I'm an engineer. And the math that I do as an engineer is different from that accountant math. I still don't get it, but it's very important. It is the most important thing in your business. You can do great product, you can do whatever. I tell people when I first started, I've paid for some of the nicest bathrooms and kitchens in Philadelphia from not knowing the finances. And now I don't make those mistakes anymore.
It's definitely key, something you should think about. Get yourself a good accountant or get some good advice from an accountant. Or get a bookkeeper, like you said, right? Depending on your level, what you need. We're married well. I'm married an accountant, so I'm good to go. But for others who did not marry as well.
Get some kind of software.
Exactly, right?
You
gotta understand it, right? And don't be a passive. Be heads on when it comes to accounting. Early understand it. Really try to go and get out there. All right. Fourth item on our list. Don't over or underestimate your business's ability or capabilities. Right? I know this is one we definitely look at. You look at a big job coming up. And you're like, no, I got it. It's a job that needs like 4 or 5 people, and it's just you. You're like, no, I got it. And you're like, okay, what am I doing? Right? So how are you gonna handle it? I know we've all had situations like that because you're looking at the dollar signs and say, I'm not gonna give up this job. I'm gonna figure out how to make it work.
Right.
You gotta be realistic though. You gotta be realistic of what you can handle. Of course, not just the actual task, but your workload. You might be able to handle it with no problem, but you have, and this is my case a lot of times, you already have 5 projects that you're working on right now. Either you take it on and bring somebody in, or you forecast it out and say, hey, we can get to it, but it's going to take 2 weeks before we can get started or something like that. But it's all about being realistic. I'm learning that lesson every week, just for forecasting projects and things. For sure.
No, absolutely. I mean, just to piggyback on that too, for our type of work for design, we can always go out and try to freelance some of the work from some other people. We can get people that are students. And ultimately, there's a lot of resources out there that can help you through it. But to Phil's point, just be realistic of what your capabilities are and know when you need help, right? You take a big job, from a big client and then ultimately fail at it, right? Because, like I said, we said before, 6 degrees of separation, right?
Mm-hmm.
That person knows someone that knows someone that knows you. So now you've got your 5-star rating is now at 3 because you took on something that you probably shouldn't have. So just keep that in mind. Absolutely, right? Undersell, over deliver is really what you want to do. All right, next one. Don't price yourself too high or too low. So I think this kind of goes hand in hand, right? You got to look at your competition, see what the going rate is for the service or product that you're providing, and price it accordingly. Right? Do you guys agree with that?
And I think that goes to what was in our do list is do your research.
Yeah, sure.
Because I think pricing too high or too low is based on you not understanding the numbers overall,
Absolutely.
right? So I mean, it's nothing wrong with being too high,
Yeah.
but it is a problem when you're too low. Because, and the reason being is you may not have enough money built into the job to finish whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but it's
Yeah.
very important to do your market research.
Absolutely.
And nowadays there are so many great websites
Yeah, sure.
that have the data, and it will tell
Absolutely.
you the national average for pricing.
Absolutely.
So find the right tools for your
Absolutely.
industry.
Absolutely. We'll have some of that information on our website as well.
Absolutely.
Get some market
And I
research.
think we mentioned in our first segment with the smallbusinessassociation.gov,
Mhm.
we got information out there as well. I like to do research on my competitors to see what they're charging. You know, I just had this conversation with these fellas today about do you charge for consultations? Well, in the design, of course you do, right? But I don't like to because I don't like to get charged for consultations.
Right.
But you got to find that happy balance, right? Because if you spend 3 hours with a client, 3 hours of your time you could have been doing something else.
Absolutely.
Do you charge them, right?
Yeah.
Or do you, if you don't get the job, now it's really a problem, right? Because you spent 3 hours of your time. So you just got to look out there and see what the going rate is, and then I think you have to use your best judgment based on the client.
And I think it also depends on what type of company you want to be. I consider myself a high-end contractor, customer. But there's certain things that I know clients won't pay for. Me saying I'm going to charge you $150 to give you an estimate, they're going to be like, pardon me? It's just going along with the business.
Yeah, sure.
aspect.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely industry specific, but I think you have to use your best judgment
Right.
and figure out how you want to do business.
Right.
Okay. Next on our list, don't neglect to build your customer data. Phil, what do you think about that?
Yeah, we do a lot of transactions. A lot of companies, just like this company, has a lot of walk-in traffic, a lot of foot traffic, and you get that one-time customer, but sometimes you don't realize that could be a recurring customer.
Sure.
And you don't want to just hope they come back when you're having a sale or
Sure.
put a sign on the window and hopefully they see it. You want to collect the information. If they approve you collecting it, so that you can
Absolutely.
remarket to them, whether it's through a newsletter, through a social media post, other text message. That's a new
absolutely.
technology out there. So you definitely don't want to neglect to build that information because you could be missing out on a lot of revenue.
No, that just totally makes sense. Now, in some cases, depending on how big you are, you might need those customers to opt in to being marketed to, depending on how big you are. But some of it's just simple texting, maybe a small rewards program. I think, Lamar, you talked about that one time just with the Dreams Ice Cream, right? Come back every week, have some type of rewards plan to get a discount. Right? You know what I mean? So there's definitely ways out there that you can get repeat customers, keep them going. But I like the information from the database. Kind of get your mailing list going. And you can also kind of see what they buy on a regular basis. So maybe they always do certain type of websites or buy certain types of ice cream, right? Maybe maybe offer them a gallon instead of a scoop, right? So it depends on what it is. So that's a good one as well. Number 7 on our list: don't lose your cool when dealing with customers, right? If you're like Phil here and when customers get upset, you just knock them out, then you're not going to have too many customers, right? So, Phil, what would you do in that situation?
I'm pretty calm. Everybody knows I'm a calm person. Only time I get hyped is in church. But the basketball court. But I always try to pride myself in being calm. As calm as I am. 1 or 2 occasions I've had to raise my voice and put my foot down. Respectfully.
Sure, absolutely.
It's important to keep that because that's the impression you're leaving on the customer.
Right. Sure.
And every person that they talk to about you, they're not going to forget to tell them about
Sure,
you.
absolutely.
So you got to keep that in mind, and it helps to de-escalate situations. It happens, if you're, the old saying that cooler heads can prevail. So you want to keep that in mind when you're dealing with customers. because you can't take that back.
No,
Once you hit level 10, you know,
From 0 to 100, it's all over. Right?
100, you know, so you got to keep that in mind.
Well, and one thing to add to what you said, one of the key takeaways for me that I always try to remind myself of is email and texting, right? If you get a client who comes in an unprofessional manner to you in either of those, I, no matter what, always respond in a professional manner. Because you don't know where that text or email will end up after it leaves you. No matter how they try to bait you, I'm always the same. Thank you for the email. This is what we're going to do. Please let me know if you have any further questions. And to be honest, and most of the time when I respond like that, I always get back a positive, response. Okay, thank you, whatever. Because I guess they realize I'm not going to be baited by their tone.
Yeah,
it's just not what I do.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, in type of business that I have, I mean, you deal with customers sometimes who, they might say something about the price, it's too high for a scoop, or they might say something, I can give you an example. One time I'm in the business and, customers came in and they asked them for samples and, let me taste your butter pecan. And okay, give them a sample, I turn around, and I can hear this particular customer talking to her husband. And pretty much, I gave her the sample and then she tasted it and she's like, that's good, but it's not Breyers ice cream.
Oh wow!
So imagine how I felt, right? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, part of me was kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't have to say that.
Yeah.
Just say, okay, thank you, or what have you. But it's like, you're right, it's not Breyers.
That's right.
You're absolutely right about it. That's true. It's not Breyers. You know what I'm saying? So you know what? Have a good day. Do what you have to do. And whatever. Everybody's not going to like what you have.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's another thing too that we got to keep be mindful of it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And I didn't lose my cool. Afterwards I felt some type of way. But again, you got to understand as individuals, the only way somebody can make you feel some type of way about it if you allow that. You understand what I'm saying?
And what's key, it didn't make our list, but you can fire customers.
You can.
I fire customers.
That's a big point.
Yeah.
And all money is not good money.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know
That's
what I mean? You just compromise your things. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my motto, even as an individual, I say, listen, I sell anything. There's two things I ain't gonna sell. That's my sell.
So, given Lamar's behind, we're gonna go to the next one here. Maintain your business boundaries. Like, that's good. So I think
we transition
That's most accurate of all of our videos for sure.
So maintain your business boundaries. So even though you may have friends that are also clients, you want to make sure you maintain that relationship. Right?
Absolutely.
You're still a client. You still should treat them accordingly, and make sure you don't kind of compromise yourself in the process, because that can lead to issues with them paying, issues with the price, wanting a free scoop of ice cream, or whatever.
Right. No, it's very important that we can be either friends and do business, or you have clients that may over the term become friends. But as long as you keep the friendship aspect, friends, and the business, it'll be okay. It's when those two worlds collide, and then it doesn't. Then you drop one part of it.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
It's a time and place for everything.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
okay.
important too.
Absolutely. Boundaries. Maintain your boundaries. That's all we're saying here. Last two on our list actually had to do more with internal workings of the business itself. So don't compromise on skill sets you need to hire. Right. So if you really do need someone who's a bookkeeper, don't get someone who's an engineer. Right. Like try to get the right skill sets for what you need, because ultimately this is your business and you're trying to be successful. Right. You guys want to add to any of that?
No, I think you said it pretty well.
That's the first.
Yeah.
But yeah, just keep that in mind, right? If you do need a skill set, go for what you really want and don't settle, right? If you can find the skill set you really need, because you'll be surprised how important that person is when you actually get the right person. You're like, oh my gosh, I should have done this 10 years ago, right? So just keep that in mind. And the last on the list, it's always a negative thing in a sense when you think about firing people, but you shouldn't be shy, right? To fire people that are not right for your business.
And I think this one is a struggle for me, but it's one that you have to do. is that you know that this person isn't right, or the person is what I call a cancer to the organization, and it hurts the flow of everyone else. You know, because as your organization grows, this person may be good for today, but a year from now, they're not the right fit.
Right.
So you have to be comfortable with deciding or making the decision, hey, you know, it's time for you to move on.
Right.
Because if you continue to carry them, it's only going to hold up your productivity and growth.
I agree with that.
You have employees, right?
Yeah, I had employees. And, you know, I had to get rid of one. I unfortunately have a great staff. And it was a tough decision. You know what I mean? Because, you know, we're dealing with young teams.
Yeah, sure. And seasonal workers probably more
Seasonal
so.
workers,
Yeah.
you know, some of the opposite sex or you know, genders. You know, you just gotta be.
Yeah.
It's a lot. You know what I mean? Honestly.
Talking about females, right?
Females,
Okay,
that's
I just want to make sure. A little bit there. I wasn't sure where he was going. Based on that last comment, I had to clarify.
Right. So like,
Talking
it
about
could
females.
be females. And,
Okay.
you know, it could be, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so it can be challenging, especially being a male, and you don't want to give them a bad experience or anything of that nature. But you know, but it's part of life. And even when I had to let her go, it was one of those things like, listen, it's not I don't believe in you, and not like you know, but this is not working out.
Sure.
For us, you know. But you know, to come back in full circle, what ended up happening, this particular individual ended up enlisting in I believe with armed services. I'm not sure what branch.
Okay.
But there was someone who actually from the FBI. I mean, I got a call from my work at the FBI. So I'm like, what the? You know what I mean? What's going on here? And then you know, I was able to give her a reference.
Okay, they called you just for references.
Exactly.
Gotcha,
So
okay.
you know what I mean. So even though it happened,
Gotcha.
you know, I was able to sit down face to face with that particular person.
I wasn't sure you were saying the FBI was calling you now. Like, all right, it was nice having Lamar as part of our team, but he's going to go up now.
Oh man!
Okay.
So, but yeah, that ended up happening. So unfortunately, it still ended up working out real well. So,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, look.
She's enlisted and she's doing well. So.
Good.
I've gotten lucky. I haven't had to fire a couple times. I wanted to fire myself, but other than that, you know, in the partnership, just me and my partner, we kind of work out our disputes as needed. And for the most part, we haven't had to do that. So I've been pretty lucky.
Well, and you know what? It's funny you bring that up. I talk about employees, but I've had to let partners go in business where you know the partner it wasn't, and they weren't pulling their part, or they were doing damage to the company and the brand. So I had to make this decision.
Gotcha.
So it can be all aspects, and it's okay. I mean, once again, you got to do what's ultimately best for your business.
Look, I totally understand. Look, Meg, your husband just said I could fire you. You mess up, you know what I mean? So he just gave me approval.
Oh man!
You guys like to add any of that? Like,
Don't be messing up my house.
He said it was good. I'm just putting it out there.
Keeping it real.
That's right.
I haven't had to fire employees, but I have had contractor relationships, not partners per se, but certainly subcontracting relationships where you know their work just wasn't up to par.
Sure.
You know, I can't do it all. You know, I have a lot of customers can't do it all, so sometimes I subcontract work out.
Yeah.
I've used Fiverr. I've used other companies.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised. You see their portfolio and it looks great, and then when you give them a project and you get their final product, and you're just,
what is this?
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So I paid him, you know, but I did finish the project on my own.
Gotcha.
Which takes time.
Yeah,
you
sure.
know, but it's my face is the face of the company, so I had
absolutely.
to take that time to do that, and I can't get that time back. But it was invested, you know, in getting the project good, and having it come to completion. But you know, I don't work with that guy anymore. So
Yeah,
it's just it happens. You know, it's a part of business, and you have to, you know, keep that in mind that those relationships don't last forever, but sometimes they do. So take the good with the bad.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I add on to that. I mean, sometimes you gotta understand as an entrepreneur, everybody's not gonna like you.
Yeah,
sure.
If you're in a business of being liked, this is
Like
not
you do another business.
exactly. You do another business,
Yeah,
work
exactly.
for somebody else. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
yeah.
I mean, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you know, you know, whatever it may be, people sometimes use the term hate or you know whatever it might be hating on you quote, but it's whatever. I mean, you just
Closing on the firing of people, you know, many years ago I was at the barbershop and a gentleman shared some words of wisdom with me. Seasoned entrepreneur, unfortunately he's no longer with us, but he asked me this question. He said, do you think your employees like you? And I said, of course they do. He said, no, they don't. He said, you pay them. And they like you because you pay them. Once you can't pay them, they don't like you. But that comment made me think, and I realized that everyone on a daily basis around me, I pay them. So I get a false sense. No one wants to tell me bad news. So one of the key things I think is, as you go through, you have to realize, you have to be able to realize there's a culture when you're there and when you're not there. And the most important thing is you got to understand who's hurting that culture, either when you're there or not there, and make sure you clear them out so that the productivity of your organization is always working and everyone has you don't want to have a hostile work environment.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
I had a situation where I had to unfortunately eliminate someone, and things have really improved overall. So I know I made the right decision. It was a tough decision. People have families, and you know you get to know these people. But at the end of the day, you can't sacrifice 9 people for one person. It's better, to eliminate that one so the other 9 are happy and successful.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that definitely sense.
Okay.
That's a great next point out there. Yeah. Just, sometimes that's another part of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
It's a tough decision.
Right. Absolutely.
Decision making. You know what I mean? That's
it's not all.
ultimately what it's about. It's not cookies and cream.
Absolutely.
I'm an ice cream.
Yeah. All right. Look, I like the ice cream analogy. That's good for Mr. Dream. Phil, how about you? What would you leave our viewers with?
Yeah, so I'll go back to the integrity. I'd like to get the gentleman know that this will be our last project. No hard feelings. It's just how it is.
Sure.
Just try to let people know, as honestly as I can, what the situation is and move forward.
Gotcha. Okay. I think that is a good segue into ending up this segment. This was the top 10 do's and don'ts when starting a business. What we try to do is just give you some information of how we do things, not necessarily the only way to do things. But in the days and age of the internet, you do a lot of research online, do your search on your competitors, just make sure you understand your business segment and that you're fighting for that. Would you guys agree?
I agree.
All right, amen. We'll see you guys later.
And make sure you follow us on our YouTube channel,
Absolutely.
Facebook, and Instagram.